That's the thing, though. When we're trying out techniques in the background, sometimes it's you end up in this deep rabbit hole, and you wonder whether or not it's the right thing to do for the task you're doing at the time, and how you'd go about teaching it. Whereabouts in a course that type of thing would appear. Is it part of a larger course? Is it actually just a small part of, or just a course by itself? Sorry. So there's loads of different variations that we constantly have on our mind as we're going through and trying to
Yep.
change something from what you've got in front of you to an actual course. I can, and I'm sure Yann here can testify as well, that when you end up making something, you go, "Oh yeah, that's really good. I reckon that'll take 10 lectures." And then you end up having 15 because you forgot that you actually need this other low level skill that you're not sure whether or not they'll know about.
I mean, it's one of the big problems with teaching anyway, is
Mhm.
checking your assumed knowledge, right? Um, Especially when you're dealing with students from different education systems.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
online, it's even tougher because you can't just get the feedback from the student. You can't watch their eye when you say something like angular momentum and see if they do this.
You what?
Yeah. Um, so you have to be very careful where you pitch the course,
Yeah.
and because you can go the other way, right? You can make something so simplistic that people, this happened with Discovering Godot. A bunch of people took the first section, Looney Lips, and got a refund because, like, this is what we would, in the UK would call a noddy course. This is so simple, I'm not going to learn anything.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's fair, but that section isn't really for you. You should be on section 2 or section 3.
Yeah, and we try our best to signpost these things as well. If you like it in a
It's why we've
Blender
moved to
course,
modular courses now.
yeah. If you already know how to do, move around in Blender, extrude, scale, inset, all of those, what I would call basic geometric changes, then you don't need to go through the very first section of a lot of Blender courses because it's all about getting everything set up. However, saying that, a lot of the first sections of our courses contain other setup things. So if you require an add-on or something along those lines that's required during the
Mhm.
course, like mesh tools or not mesh tools, auto ball and auto mirror, things like that, those are ones that are built into Blender. But if you don't have them on, a node wrangler is a great one. Suddenly that what I'm doing on screen won't make sense any. Yeah, Node Wrangler. You heard it.
Node Wrangler is just the name of someone who works in Godot and Blender. That's just the title. Can I change my
Very true.
business title to Node Wrangler?
Sure.
If Elon Musk could be Tech Daddy, I could be Node Wrangler.
Wasn't it Techno King? But yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. Um, do the bones ever move? Yes, they do move. They do move.
Mhm.
Mostly because I'm trying to exaggerate it and give it cartoonish effect, right? So the rear wing, in order to really like give the idea that the toucan is moving and to make it look not quite childlike, but certainly toy-like, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually moving where the wing is as well as rotating it so that it's really exaggerating it. It's just the same essence as the front wing, though.
And
Um,
that's the useful thing. You can reuse sprites as well, but because you've got that layering ability, you can do that. You can, obviously you can't turn around and things like that because there's not
I mean, I
the
can show you some of the
information there.
little tricks I tried. Let me go back to that project and then share my screen. Okay,
You sharing?
sharing my screen. Boop. Okay, so if we take a look at some of these animations, and let's take a look at walk. So here on the right wing, you'll notice I've got position and rotation. I actually have for all of them just to make it simpler. But if I select the right wing, which is right, do I mean the right wing? Yeah. You can actually see the position is moving, right? I'm moving the pivot point left and right across the screen just to give it that extra movement. I'm doing the same thing with both feet, the left and the right. So I'm not just rotating. I mean, I could just rotate, but I'm allowing myself to move the whole thing. I do the same thing with the head. So if we look at mouth snap, right? I'm actually moving the whole head to give a more bird-like thing. Same thing with the tail. I'm moving the tail on various moves. So here, the both wings have moved position and so on. Which shall I show off Boggle while we're here?
Go on. Yeah, sure. I think that's a
The
great
name
idea.
isn't called Boggle, but let me quit to project list and minimize that so we don't get weird feedback. And here we go. So this was going to be called Tukey Bricks, but then something happened, and now it's called Spooky Bricks. Let me just move that over. Oh, no, wrong one.
Ah, lots of me.
I'm having real trouble with. There we go. Okay, cool. So first thing you'll notice, we have an extra spooky mode. That's all it does. I'm guessing you guys can't hear the soundtrack or the sound effects, so that's fine. But we've been working on new assets, new power-ups, new code, new tech, new effects. It's not quite ready for prime time, but it's pretty close. Like to the point where I don't think I need to be working on this right now. I'm thinking this is like game 3 or 4 in the next Godot course that isn't the RPG project.
Yep.
Because it's not quite as simple as the first course should be, right? There's more to it than things like variables, arrays, functions, dictionaries, conditionals. We're using a lot of tile maps. We're using reflections. We're having to spawn in various power-ups. I like the little cannon I drew on Boris here. What else do we have? I like this power-up.
I like big bats and I cannot lie. It's got to be said with the rhythm as well.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's going to be said. We've got a few different power-ups. I'll pick up a crappy one as well. There we go.
Tiny bats.
Tiny bat's quite annoying. Are you coming, Bob? I'm also reusing Bob. Bob is in our expanded universe. But yeah, it's just a fun little game. The music's nice and creepy. The tile map's easy to use. And this is kind of game that's really satisfying to make a bunch of different levels for. Currently, I don't have that. But I'm thinking like, a vault with a bunch of gold bricks inside, or a giant penguin, or whatever it might be. The beach, well, not a beach, but a palm tree. But you can really expand this out as much as you like. Can I have another power up, please, Bob?
I wondered why you picked the small bat. Yeah. Oh no.
I just wanted to show one off. I've actually got pause in here, so let's just start that one again. Where is it? There it is.
There we go.
Okay. So let's go over here.
Yeah, there's subtle little things like that where on the bat because obviously the bat itself is a capsule, if I remember correctly, in terms of its collider.
But I'm also adding velocity to here we go, to Bob, based on where on the bat you've hit. I like this power up.
Unstoppa Ball.
Now this is done in Godot 4, so there are actually bugs that keep error codes that come up that make no sense. Like it's telling me I don't need to use an await, even though I'm copying the documentation for that function. So there we go. Let's switch to.
Yeah, there are a few graphical glitches as well. Occasionally, you might see
particles, little graphical glitches. I don't know if that's because they're queue freeing just as they finish, or I'm not sure what the deal is there. But yeah, that's Spooky Bricks so far, and I think that's a fun little project. So I'm just gonna put this over here.
And we're back. So that's looking really awesome, especially as a beginner game for students to get their teeth into, and in Godot 4. So, am I right in saying?
The idea is, go on.
Am I right in saying Godot 4 Alpha 6 is only
7?
7 now. 7. So they are making their way through the alpha numbers. I don't know how many alpha numbers there are going to be, but we'll find out.
Today.